Hey, my name is Milan. I'm the CEO of LGBTQ dating applications, Serge and Zoe. And if you're looking for inspiration, what to read in terms of LGBTQ literature, here comes my reading list. Alright, so let's talk books. So first of all, I'm going to talk about 5 books that are not in any particular order. And these are books either by gay authors or gay stories that I found particularly good over the years. And I just wanted to share a little bit of inspiration and would appreciate if you maybe share some of your reading tips with me. First and foremost, I have to introduce you to Pete Buttigieg. If you don't know him, he's a brilliant guy. He ran for president the year that Biden got the nomination. And he actually ended up, I guess, unofficially third. Super impressive guy. Oxford alumni, McKinsey alumni, that we have in common. But on top of that, he's a Harvard alumni. He was a mayor of South Bend. Right now, he's a secretary of infrastructure in Biden's government. He is a veteran and has a husband and 2 kids. And just a brilliant guy, incredibly impressive. He's like 40-ish, and he already managed all of this. Amazing. And he wrote multiple books, but the one that I want to talk about is called Trust, where he essentially takes a very interesting point. He's speaking about how the trust in society is something fundamental and what happens if we don't have it. So how do the societies suffer in terms of economy or social issues if we don't build trust? And I found it particularly clever to analyze the society from this vantage point. So I wanted to share. Plus, it's super cool to support somebody like this who's on the top of his game and is out and proud and gay and inspiring, gay people all around the world. Second, we are going to stay in Buttigieg family. His husband, Chasten, wrote a book called I Have Something to Tell You, where he first of all explores his youth and adolescence, which is interesting because you just read a story of a American gay kid, but then he moves to when he met Pete, and you get a lot of very interesting insights from the relationship, but mostly you get very interesting insights from the campaign that they ran, which, as far as I'm concerned, was the most successful openly gay campaign for a nomination for presidency. And I don't know, it was really interesting. And there were so many points that I didn't know about, though I watched the campaign very closely. I would have voted for him if I was American. And it was really cool to see it from the other side, how it was psychologically, how it felt when they stopped the campaign. So I would really, 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 especially if you watch the elections, this is a cool book to read. Moving on from the Buttigieg family, most of you are probably familiar with Yuval Harari. He's a brilliant gay guy. I think he lives in Israel. He's also an anthropologist. And he wrote 3 bestsellers, of which one that I think is the best is the Sapiens, The Brief History of Humankind. It was recommended by Mark Zuckerberg. It was recommended by Steve Jobs. It was shortlisted for the Book of the Year. I think it was a bestseller for multiple weeks. And he asks super simple question. He essentially just asks, okay, so why did this Homo sapiens, which is not the strongest kind on this planet, and not even the smartest one, right? There were different sapien species. And somehow we managed to kill them all. How come that we made it and so many others did not? How come that we managed to dominate this planet? And then he answers from anthropological perspective. And I'm not going to spoil what the answer is, obviously, but for me, it was really showing a different way how to look at a society, because it showed sort of the inner workings of why the things are structured the way they are. And I found it super impressive and honestly a bit transformational. Moving on, Michael Cunningham. I have one-sided love story towards this man. I read everything that he ever wrote. Brilliant person. He also has, by the way, a Pulitzer Prize for literature. And one that I would really like to highlight is by Nightfall. I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's a story of a man called Peter and a boy called Mizzy, and about forbidden love, kind of one-sided-ish. We don't know, really. But he manages to describe the beauty of self-destructive youth in such a brilliant way. Like, I remember it hit me so badly. Like, I was backpacking through Vietnam, and I was reading the book on a beach. I was just screaming at the waves, being like, Michael, don't do this to me. There were just passages that were so incredibly, personal level, really hitting the spot. I mean, Friedrich Nietzsche would have been very proud of him, because this is the beauty in tragedy. Beautiful, beautiful book. I really, really recommend it. And then the list wouldn't be complete, of course, without André Aciman, who is famously the author of Call Me By Your Name, which I guess a lot of you have read. But he also wrote multiple other books. The one that I wanted to mention is called Find Me. It's a vague continuation of Call Me By Your Name. And what I really like about his writing is about his writing is that he's very philosophical. So, for instance, in Find Me, without spoiling too much, he is considering the idea of continuation. So if we have this main timeline that we are living on, he would claim that every time we meet someone who we love, this timeline pauses. And even if the person who we love, we met the last time when we were 17, for instance, it continues from the point when we saw them the last time. And then, sort of by the magic of this, some people that are 50 who meet their loves from early 20s continue from when they were early 20s. And I found it super, super beautiful and charming, and a big part of that is well better than I can ever do it described in the book, Find Me. So, right, look, that's my list. Hopefully you like some of them. Let me know. Also, let me know some of your books that you think would be worth the time, because I'm always looking for inspiration. And before that, share and subscribe. Thank you for your attention.